You are 14 years old. The world is your small Albanian village, cradled by mountains, a place where life is hard but predictable. That predictability shatters the day the Ottoman soldiers arrive. You quickly realize they are not here for grain or taxes. Their purpose is far more specific, far more personal. They are here for the children. They are here for you. This is no random act of violence. It is a systematic harvest. The officials move with a chilling efficiency, consulting detailed ledgers, population registries that tell them everything about your village. They know your name, your age, your family. They know exactly how many boys of suitable age live here, and when this community was last made to contribute to their grim levy. This is the Devshirme system, but its true nature is far more sinister than mere conscription. It is a calculated, bureaucratic process of human procurement. The selection begins. You are lined up with the other boys, your heart pounding against your ribs. The Ottoman officials are cold, appraising, their eyes missing nothing. They grip your chin, turning your face to the sun. Their criteria are disturbingly specific, outlined in their own recruitment manuals. First, physical beauty, the symmetry of your features, the smoothness of your skin. Second, intelligence. Quick, sharp questions, designed to test your wit and learning ability. But the third criterion chills you to your soul: sexual potential. These men are evaluating you and your friends, judging your suitability as a future concubine, examining your body for signs of development, and assessing your temperament for submission. The emotional devastation is immediate. You see your mother's face, a mask of pure terror, as a soldier peels your fingers from her arm. A father who protests too loudly is cut down in front of his family, his life extinguished as a lesson in compliance. You are torn from everything you have ever known: your home, your language, your God, without a backward glance. The psychological destruction of your identity begins at once. You are given a new, Turkish name. You are forbidden from speaking your native tongue. Any mention of your past life brings a swift and brutal beating, often administered by an older boy who was taken in a previous levy. This is a key part of the design. The system uses those it has already broken to break the new arrivals, creating a self-perpetuating cycle of trauma. The march away from your home is a blur of fear and exhaustion. You are part of a chain of stolen children, walking toward a fate you cannot comprehend. Your destination is one of the Empire's many training facilities, a place that operates with a cold, industrial efficiency. This is where the Ottoman machine reveals its true purpose. The horrors you are about to endure are not hidden. They are meticulously documented in the Empire's own administrative records. These are not the accusations of enemies. They are the clinical, bureaucratic language of the perpetrators themselves, who saw no shame in their actions. Upon arrival, you are processed. Your training begins immediately, and its goal is singular: to mold you into a perfect object of pleasure for the Ottoman elite. Your days become a grueling regimen. You are taught music, dance, and elegant conversation skills to make you an entertaining companion. But the most extensive, most brutal training is in the arts of pleasure. You receive explicit instruction in sexual techniques, massage, and the absolute suppression of your own will. The instructors are men who were once boys like you, their spirits so completely crushed they now serve as enforcers for the very system that destroyed them. Resistance is not an option. It is met with starvation, isolation, and psychological torture designed to shatter your mind. You learn that survival depends on one thing: enthusiastic participation in your own degradation. The Empire is so calculating that its records even account for mortality, taking extra boys to compensate for those who will never survive the training process. Your value, like that of any commodity, is assessed and logged. The most attractive and intelligent among you are designated for the highest level of service, the inner chambers of the Sultan's palace in Constantinople. There, you would be further refined, educated in literature and philosophy, to serve as a sophisticated companion for the most powerful men in the empire. The rest are processed for the vast provincial network that services the broader Ottoman elite: government officials, military commanders, and wealthy merchants who all maintain their own collections of boys. This is not a hidden underworld, it is an open economy of human suffering. The empire operates specialized markets for trading male concubines, complete with detailed pricing structures. A handsome boy of 10 or 12 could cost the equivalent of a skilled craftsman's wages for months. The most beautiful were luxury items, their price exceeding that of entire households of common slaves. You are not a person, you are property, and your value is meticulously calculated on a balance sheet. Your life within the system is a paradox of luxury and brutality. You may be clothed in fine silks and fed exquisite food, but you are a prisoner in a gilded cage. Your entire existence is contingent on the whims of your master. Every day is a performance, a constant act of submission, where a single misstep, a wrong word, or a fading look of youth can have catastrophic consequences. For the empire's cruelest truth is that your value is cruelly fleeting. It is tied entirely to the bloom of adolescence, and as you mature into your late teens, you become a depreciating asset. The same meticulous bureaucracy that documented your acquisition now outlines systematic protocols for your disposal. The Ottoman records describe this process with a clinical detachment that is more horrifying than any act of random violence. The methods of elimination are varied and coldly efficient. Some boys, whose value has merely decreased, are sold off at a discount to lower-ranking officials or wealthy merchants. Their lives a downward spiral into increasingly less cared-for servitude. Others are transferred to the state-sanctioned brothels that operate openly throughout the empire, catering to a clientele of soldiers and traders, their bodies becoming public commodities. But for those who served in the palaces, who know too many secrets, or have developed emotional attachments that make them a security risk, the end is more final. The empire employs what its records call elimination protocols. Poisoning is common, often administered gradually to mimic a wasting illness. Accidents are conveniently arranged: fatal falls from high palace walls, sudden drownings during boat trips, attacks by wild animals. Perhaps the most brutal method is the practice of forced combat, where aging concubines are compelled to fight each other to the death for the amusement of their former owners. This gladiatorial spectacle serves multiple purposes. It eliminates unwanted individuals, provides entertainment, and serves as a terrifying lesson in powerlessness for those who remain. The psychological impact of this constant threat is devastating. You live in a state of perpetual terror, knowing your survival hinges on maintaining favor through ever more degrading acts. The system is engineered to produce what the Ottoman documents clinically term broken men, individuals, often still in their 20s, whose minds have been utterly shattered by years of systematic abuse. They are housed in special facilities, their care and feeding documented in medical ledgers, with the same bureaucratic precision used for any other imperial resource. The empire is not just managing people, it is managing the human wreckage of its own policies. Foreign diplomats who visited these facilities left disturbing accounts of men who could no longer speak coherently, who rocked endlessly back and forth, and who flinched at the approach of any authority figure. This psychological destruction was not a side effect. It was a deliberate feature designed to ensure no one could ever effectively resist or expose the truth. That truth is guarded with ruthless efficiency. From your first day, you are trained in elaborate codes of silence. Speaking of your experiences to anyone outside the system is punishable by public, slow torture, a graphic lesson for everyone else. The empire fosters a network of informants among the concubines themselves, turning victim against victim. Your survival depends on betraying your peers, reporting any whisper of dissent or longing for home. This surveillance extends beyond the palace walls. For the few who ever gain freedom or manage to escape, imperial agents maintain a lifelong watch, ensuring their continued silence through threats against any surviving family members or the promise of being dragged back into captivity. The empire's commitment to secrecy is absolute. The trauma of this system radiates outward, poisoning the lands from which the boys are taken. Back in your village, and in countless Christian communities across the Balkans, society is forever scarred. Families live in perpetual dread of the official's ledger and the next levy. Ottoman records show that some communities became so desperate they deliberately limited the number of children they had to avoid offering targets. The empire weaponized this fear, imposing crushing tax burdens that could only be alleviated by surrendering a son. They systematically corrupted the very pillars of the community, bribing priests and monks to become collaborators who would identify and deliver the most attractive boys, using spiritual authority to break a village's will to resist. The Devshirme was more than a child levy. It was a tool of demographic and psychological warfare, designed to cripple conquered populations for generations. This was not a dark secret or the work of a few sadists. It was institutional policy, sanctioned by law and justified by twisted religious interpretation. It was a form of human farming that operated with bureaucratic efficiency for centuries, fueling the economy and securing the loyalty of the elite by granting them absolute power over other human beings. The story of these boys, drawn from the empire's own records, is a stark reminder of how humanity can be erased when reduced to an entry in a ledger. It challenges the majestic image of the Ottoman Empire to reveal the brutal suffering that underpinned it. Those boys, those broken men, deserve to be remembered not as commodities, but as a warning of the profound cruelty that can fester within any system of absolute power. Their enforced silence must finally be broken by the relentless pursuit of truth.